Good afternoon, this is Gavriel Jacknin, and welcome to BJC Mitzvah Day, number 18 of the Mitzvos that are relevant in our present time in the land of Israel. Number 18, it is a negative commandment not to eat tevel. We'll learn what tevel is, which means something from which truma and the tithes, the various kinds of meiser, were not taken off. In other words, whenever a farmer gets all sorts of grains, he has to first tithe them, as we mentioned before, to the Kohen, 2% to the Kohen, to the Levi, for himself or for the poor person, and then he can eat the remainder. But if he eats any of the remainder beforehand, that's called tevel. And that's a negative commandment to eat it. For it is stated, and they shall not profane the holy things of the Israelites, which they shall set apart for Hashem. That's from Vayikra, the third book. And it was interpreted to mean what they were yet to set apart. In other words, food from which the required portions were not yet separated. If someone transgresses this negative commandment, he becomes liable to death at heaven's hand. In the Medrash we find, if someone eats his produce as tevel, it is as if he eats nevela, flesh of an animal that died by itself or was not given proper shechita, slaughtering, which is unkosher. See negative commandment number 86. And treifa, flesh of an animal that was torn by beasts. That's number 87, both unkosher. The meaning of this is that tevel has the same negative, shameworthy quality as forbidden food. If someone takes produce from a person who is not a chaver, meaning who is not trustworthy about meiser, about the separations, the tithing, even at a time when most unlearned common folk would separate the tithes, he should take off truma, as we learned in mitzvah number 11, and the truma of meiser, that's for the Levi number 13, should specify the required kinds of meiser, and should redeem the meiser sheni to make it non-holy. Again, that's the second tithe for himself to eat in Jerusalem, years 1, 2, 4, and 5. This applies to everything that bears the obligation of truma and the tithes, and it applies to both man and woman. It is forbidden to give tevel to an animal to eat, and so too to derive any benefit from its destruction. It is forbidden to sell tevel except to a chaver and for a specific need. That was your mitzvah. Thanks for listening. Sponsor feature mitzvah 36, 100 for the gold. See you tomorrow.